55 days to election 2020. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. As we celebrate 25 years of bold and fearless journalism, this bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kokomlemle. It's a digital address, GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country, including A1 Radio in Bolgatanga, Radio Max in Takrady. We are around the world at myjoyonline.com. In this edition, police service comes under criticism for rising cases of robberies in the country. We'll hear from a security analyst. Meanwhile, some Ghanaians demand increased police visibility and heightened police patrol on major roads to end recent highway robberies.
The police are supposed to be patrolling day and night. In fact, all their barriers are within the towns and communities.
MPs to make a case for special security as they admit they are shaken by recent death of Infansiman MP as Interior Minister appears before Parliament today on the country's security situation following series of armed attacks.
I used to travel at night. I stopped traveling at night. My colleague was assassinated at night. So these are...
Has this shaken you? I'm very much afraid now.
We have the very latest from Parliament in sports.
Premier League giants Kumasi Asante Kotoko have announced the signing of Black Stars goalkeeper Razak Abalura.
And much later, staff of the National Board for Small Scales in the Northern Region reportedly sacked from their offices over allegations of giving loans to NDC faithful. We'll get the very latest on this situation, that and more in this package. I am Emefa Apawu. Thanks for your company. Let's settle for the details now. An increased police visibility across the country. That's the call by some Ghanaians, the hierarchy of the Ghana Police Service, following a string of armed robbery attacks in recent weeks. Now, the call has been necessitated by what some have described as a heightened sense of insecurity after some public officials, as well as ordinary Ghanaians, were attacked by suspected armed robbers. We'll hear from them shortly, as well as authorities on how this menace can be kept. But first, here's a news desk report capturing the various incidences of suspected robbery in some parts of the country over the last week alone.
They came up to us, demanded that we give them our money and whatever valuables we had in our possession.
Member of a National Democratic Congress campaign team, Sawadogo Mahmoud, recounting how the convoy was attacked by gunmen at a Jura in the Efijakwabre district of the Ashanti region. During the incident, which occurred late last Wednesday, 2 of the 5 people in the saloon car were severely beaten by the robbers after one of them told the others not to kill them.
One of them told us to enter the car and go. The other said no, they should just shoot us. Then the other said no, we only came for their valuables. They've given it to us. So why they need to shoot them? The other insisted no, we have to shoot them to teach others a lesson.
They escaped death. But the Infantiman MP, Eko Kwanza Hayford, was not so lucky. On Friday, he was shot dead by gunmen at Abazi Dominasi in the central region in a suspected highway robbery. Here's an eyewitness account.
They came closer and demanded money and phones. They asked the MP for money, and before he responded, they dragged him out of the car. I heard them say to him that you politicians have made Ghana tough for us. I heard them shooting, and when things became calm, I got out only to hear that Honorable is dead.
The late legislators' killers are yet to be apprehended, and police are offering a 20,000 Ghana cedi bounty for information leading to the arrest of the perpetrators.
We are appealing to them to liaise with the nearest police station, give us the information that will help to facilitate our...
Even before the dust settles on this matter, the municipal chief executive for the West Mampusi Assembly in the northern region, Aremiyao Somolaki, escaped a targeted robbery. Security personnel were compelled to open fire to repel a group of armed robbers who attempted to block his convoy on Sunday night while he was traveling to communities to disburse monies to victims of recent floods.
But I was moving with money to distribute.
So they really targeted you?
Yes, I think I was the target because they wanted the money. But I knew my security, I will not have to play with the security, so I have to go with the police, and they did very, very well.
The latest reported attack was of the Ashanti regional boss of the Electoral Commission, Benjamin Bano, who was reportedly robbed at gunpoint on the Anria-Kwanta-Obuasi highway while he was returning to Kumasi from an official trip to the Western region. The robbers are said to have seized his personal belongings and those of the other occupants of the Nizam patrol vehicle in which they were traveling. These and other incidents, many of which may have gone unreported, had led some to believe the country is facing a security threat which must be quelled quickly.
News desk report capturing the various incidents of suspected robberies in some parts of the country over the last week alone. Now, we've engaged in the thoughts of some Ghanaians on these recent developments. For some travelers at the New Plant Station in Accra who spoke to Joy News, it is time for increased patrols on major roads as they accuse the police of not doing enough to curtail the recent incidents of highway robbery.
Kumasi barrier, from Accra to Kumasi barrier, Kwano Subia, Esikrom, and Zividam.
The police are supposed to be patrolling day and night. In fact, all their barriers are within the towns and communities. There are no police barriers in the bushes. When I got attacked by the armed robbers, they ran away immediately they heard the police siren.
Well, I don't think I'm really safe, and I believe that God being so good, I'll be able to reach my destination safely. For me, I think what they could do is that the police should be stationed at the possible hideout areas on the road. In towns, there can't be any robbery cases in towns, but then in the bushes, the bush areas, that's where the police should be stationed to avoid these intermittent robbery cases on the road.
No, I don't feel safe when I'm traveling. I don't feel safe. And what I want the government to do is everybody should need a police escort. And I think creation of barriers. Sometimes when a person is...
We can now hear from a security analyst. Now, he is suggesting a change in leadership of the police service can deal with the increase in crime. He admits election periods like this have always had crime rates, but he believes more can be done by security agencies to deal with the situation. Listen to Adam Bona.
The excessive use of money. We are in the season where monies are displayed, people are sharing money. And so you have politicians carry money in their car boots, and therefore you can see crime rates have gone up. And if you check from 1992, around this time, when elections is coming nearer, you have crime rate going up. So what we are seeing today, even though unprecedented, it has always been this way when we are going into it. But this time around, it is probably worsened. And so the more we reduce the, moving cash, we move with cash, the more we limit our chances of getting robbed and sometimes getting killed. But on the front of the leadership, I would have wanted to see the president make some significant changes.
Security analyst Adam Bona, and apologized for that poor quality in sound there. But we head to Parliament where members say they will make a case for special security as they admit they are shaken by recent death of the Infansiman MP. Now this comes as the Interior Minister prepares to appear before Parliament today to update MPs on the country's security situation following series of robberies and armed attacks. Majority Leader Osechi Mensah-Bonsu was hinted the meeting would not be a public one. He spoke on PM Express last night.
The numbers have increased, and maybe it should be possible. It's not a question of maybe. My own thinking is that it should be possible to provide some security. Tomorrow, the Minister of Interior is coming to. We're going to have a frank discussion on this with him. I should think maybe giving the exigencies of the time, perhaps maybe we'll do it in a closed sitting or a committee of the whole.
NASA, the Majority Leader Osechi Mensah-Bonsu. Meanwhile, some MPs have been speaking to us. They say they are shaking by the recent death of your colleague and have been outlining the steps they are taking to ensure their personal safety. Listen to Sete Champong and James Galga and Osechi Mensah-Bonsu on that. Well, we'll hear from them shortly, but parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo has joined us on the line whilst we wait for the Interior Minister to address MPs on the security situation. Has he arrived just yet, and what's the situation? What's the talk in Parliament?
He's not arrived yet. We are still waiting for him. Usually, questioning is the first item that the House deals with before they move on to other businesses. but that hasn't happened. The indication I get is that he's caught up in something else ahead of his briefing of Parliament, which is how come he is late. A number of other issues are coming up. The majority leader, Emefa Apawu, has hinted that there is a conversation ongoing to probably have this meeting as a closed door one instead of an open door one. And I gather again that it's one of the things that they've not agreed on yet, which is how come the minister hasn't addressed the House. So we're waiting for those on the minority side in particular. They say they would want to see more than just assurances, because the last time any attack happened on an MP, there were assurances which no one acted on. And for ABF Husseini, the minority spokesperson, he thinks that now it's time for action rather than assurance.
So MP security and safety will be high on the agenda for this closed-door meeting. But are there any other issues bordering on security apart from their safety that will be coming up in this discussion? Do you know?
We gather that the conversation will extend beyond safety for MPs in particular and veer into conversations around how Ghanaians generally are being protected, particularly with elections coming up, how the security apparatus is being prepared to help keep the nation safe and keep the peace intact. So the conversation will center beyond just the security of MPs.
Now, Joseph, ahead of this meeting also, you've been interacting with some MPs. What exactly have they been telling you? What have they been sharing in terms of your concerns?
Missed expectations. Some of them talk about how they are unable to step out late in the night following the third killing, which is actually something that leadership has advised MPs to do. In fact, on some of our shows, which ran late into the night, we invited some MPs, and the feedback they give is that for security reasons, they are hesitant about stepping out. And for them, the general security of the country has to be beefed up. They're pointing to other situations of deaths, including that of Professor Bene, and other issues as things that require that the police sit up and do more than they are doing currently.
There must be some form of protection for members of parliament. I cannot understand why virtually all other Article 71 holders are given security. Judges, ministers, deputy ministers, other appointees. And MPs are left out. If you are talking about democracy, this is the bastion of democracy. There's no democracy in the judiciary. There's no democracy in the executive. This is here. And the people who fundamentally make the house function have abandoned to their own fate.
So you know the interior minister is coming around today.
No, I am not impressed about those things. They just bring the interior minister or bring ministers to come and just re-echo assurances. Nobody is interested in this worn-out, tired, irrelevant assurances. Nobody wants assurances. We want concrete action. And all the time, when tragedies like this happen, then they just go and bring somebody to come and just tell us stories and go back again. We are not interested in stories. The lives of members of parliament are at stake. We are not saying that members of parliament are an elite, exclusive group of people, Ghanaians who alone merit security. We are not saying so. Far from it. But I said that our ministers not giving security, our judges not giving security, our other appointees not giving security. So why, when MPs ask for security, that one becomes something that people say, why are you asking for this? When it's being given to others. Perhaps if he had some secure security with him, perhaps he may not have lost his life. And that is a huge, expensive omission. We can't bring him back. He's gone, painfully. So I think that, look, this is a wake-up call. Please are still there. You know, and this is the government with the highest security architecture. Appointees. Go and look at the number of appointees.
You had the ABF Husseini. Now, Sete Champo and James Agalga, as well as the majority leader, Sechi Mensabuntu, have also been speaking to us about the steps they are taking to ensure their personal security.
I used to travel at night. I stopped traveling at night. My colleague was assassinated at night. So these are personal caution I'm taking. There's no point, irrespective of what assignment it is. Hitherto, you would just drive on. You don't know, because criminals may take advantage of the times you are living in. And once you are cautioned, you need to heed to advice.
What has this shaken you at all? Have you been shaken by the incidents recently?
I am very much afraid now providing security for members of parliament. What is the number? The number under consideration here is 275. And out of the 275, the MP ministers and MP deputy ministers already have protection. So you probably would be looking at providing security for half. We are very, very exposed, even more exposed in some cases than that. So
let's elevate the security considerations for members of parliament. For members of parliament, there's always been consensus amongst us. It is moving it upward. The response.
We have Ahmed Swale, we have the Gafoha lady, we have the Takrady girls, we have the MPJB Dankwa. The fact that the police has not been able to resolve these murders, sometimes speaks to the issue that they don't have adequate resources, not necessarily in terms of training, but in terms of whether they have sufficient numbers of detectives where their services will be required to try and detect and prevent crime in the first instance. And when crime has occurred, to try and come to the roots of the crime and find the perpetrator and bring them to justice. And then to dig into the reserve of the police resources to try and resolve this one. My position has been clear that we need to broaden the discourse to talk generally about security for everybody.
NASA security analyst Colonel retired Festus Abuaji will stay a while longer on security-related issues, this time in the central region, because authorities of the University of Cape Coast have denied reports of mass robbery and stabbings on the campus last night. Now, students fled lecture halls amidst claims robbers had attacked some of their mates, robbing them at knife point. Many took to social media with a hashtag UCC Lives Matter, which was trending at #1 on Twitter, with calls for the police to act swiftly. But public relations officer of the university, Major Retired Kofi Ba Bintum, tells Joy News their investigations and checks by the patrol team reveal nothing like that happened. He believes it was a prank.
Yes, or that we cannot find those things. We cannot find any victims, so-called robbery. These things happen. If you have realized, occasionally they do it to the ambulance service, they do it fire service. They say that there's fire somewhere. They take the fire tender, they go there. So somebody just put on a student flat that armed robbers have come around, so people should take cover or whatever. So out of panic, students at the CALT lecture theater started running helter-skelter. What I think we should do rather is to thank God that in the course of the stampede or panic, we did not record any heavy casualties, because that could have resulted in serious casualties. But thankfully, apart from one girl that I am told had a pain in the leg, who is receiving treatment at the UCC hospital, nothing untoward happened to any other person, to the best of my knowledge. So to sum it up, there was a message. Where it came from, nobody knows. But this message alerted people that there were armed robbers around.
Major Retired Kofi Ba Bintum is the Public Relations Officer of the University of Cape Coast. Central Regional Correspondent Kojo Nyako joins us on the line. He's been on campus all morning. He joins us with the details. So if it was a prank, what actions have they taken and what's the source of this?
Well, so the university management, they've started investigating the matter. In fact, they have been in touch with the University Directorate of Health Services and then the security section. And then the rush out, indeed, confirmation has come that it did happen. And a student currently, and who was also running at that particular point, is at the hospital. He had a sprain, and so he's being treated. But as for the robbery, no student has come out to say that I was robbed at gunpoint or I was robbed at knife point. And so they are investigating the matter. They are looking for the person who allegedly, made those videos out. And so fact checks that have been done on some of the videos indicate that, some of them date back to 2014, 2013, and then 2018.
But did they tell us exactly what actions we'll be taking?
Well, the university has not been able. They say that they want to conclude the investigations on the matter before they know, but they want to know the specific persons that did the videos and threw them on social media that has gone viral and created panic and fear on campus.
Now, Central Regional Correspondent Richard Kojonya will be following that closely and bring us more. Now, this is the Midday News. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. It's a good time to take a quick break where police service has come under criticism for rising cases of robberies in the country. We've been hearing from analysts and we've been to Parliament where the Special Security team will be leading or be meeting the Interior Minister on the security situation, especially that of the MPs. When we return from the break, staff of the National Board for Small Skills in the Northern Region reportedly sacked from the offices over allegations of giving loans to NDC faithful. We'll give you details after that.
This bulletin is live in the Volta region on Jubilee Radio Keta, Volta Premier and Kekali Radio in Ho, Lolonyo FM in Hohoi, Pando FM in Pando, Fafa Radio in Joje, Radio Hogba in Angloga, Klenam Radio Bato, Victory FM Aflao. In the Eastern region, we're on K Poly Radio in Kofrodia. In the Northern region, we're on Bishara Radio, Radio 123 and Radio Justice in Tamale. And in Savannah region, we're on Inkelege FM in Bole. In the Upper East region, we're live on A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bogatanga and Radio Fumbese in Fumbese. In Upper West, we're live on Radio Sonmale in Wa, Radio Freed in Nandom, Radio Wa in Wa, and Bolu FM in Bolu. In the Bono East region, we're on Gaskia FM in Techiman. In Bono region, we're on Sky FM and Parrot FM in Sunyai. Central region, we're live on ATL FM in Cape Coast. And in the Western region, we're on Radio Max in Takrady.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Let's do sports now. Hans Metzando.
Hi, Emefa. And Kumasi Asante Korova have announced the signing of Black Stars goalkeeper Razak Abalora. The Porcupine Warriors announced the signing a day after Abalora made his Black Stars debut in Monday's 5-1 victory over Qatar. Abalora joins on a free transfer after terminating his contract with Tanzanian club Azam FC. Love FM's Delali Atiasi has been speaking to the communications manager of Kumasi Asante Korova, Moses Entry-Benefo, on their new signing.
The signing of Abalora has come as a surprise to many followers of the game, putting into perspective the three quality keepers currently at the club, including skipper Felix Annan. The club's communications manager says the signing of Abalora falls in line with their squad plans for the new season.
When the chief executive for Kumasi Asante Korova unveiled his management team, he did say that if you look at the squad that Kotoko is going to work with, we are going to go by the formula 4-8-8-4-4-2, meaning 4 goalkeepers, 8 defenders, 8 midfielders, 4 forwards, 4 junior players who are going to be promoted to join the senior side, and then 2 marquee signings. We are on track. We have 3 goalkeepers who are currently with the squad. Ibrahim Danlad is there, Kwame Ban is there, and we have Felix Annan. So Abaloa adds up to make it 4 strong goalkeepers. We are also going to participate in Africa, and we need a Chan-like team of Ghana. To get a Chan-like team of Ghana, it simply means you have to parade probably all the best players on the Ghanaian soil. That is exactly what we are doing.
That report from Delade Atiase, and 3 national team goalkeepers for Kumasi Asante Korova certainly present a selection dilemma for head coach Maxwell Kunedu. That's your sport.
Thank you very much, Hans. Off to the Northern Region now, and staff of the National Board for Small Skills there have been sacked from the offices over allegations of giving loans to NDC members. The youth, numbering about 6, entered the office and demanded that they all leave and lock up the offices. Martina Bugri is on the ground. She joins us with more. Martina, tell us exactly what happened.
We are told that this morning around 10 o'clock, a youth group entered the RCC, went to the NBSSI offices, which is the ground floor of the Regional Coordinating Council, and demanded that staff of the NBSSI walk out of the office. They came out, and then we are told that they locked up the place and left with the keys. Now, those who were there, who had come there to register. There's an ongoing registration exercise. It's actually supposed to be online, where they are giving some monies to people who are into small-scale businesses. It is not supposed to be at their offices, but some people come there for assistance to be able to register. And so we spoke to some of them, and they said that was what happened. Now, we went to speak to the Regional Security Liaison Officer, Lieutenant Colonel retired A.R. Salif, when he gave the name of the group as the Big Six. He said that he was told by the accountant of the NBSSI that some guys had come to lock up the place, and he had called them for a meeting. Just when we were about to leave the Regional Coordinating Council, the youth arrived. They were heading to his office for the meeting. I engaged with one of them, and they are denying that they are the people who locked up the place.
That's Northern Regional Correspondent Martina Bugri reporting on the situation at the National Board for Small Scales Industry in the Northern Region. Now, the Attorney General's office has been directed by the Supreme Court to advance legal argument in a case filed by Asin Central MP Kennedy Ejapong. Now, the legislator is asking the Apex Court to stop the High Court presided by Justice Wunta Wuni from hearing a contempt case involving the MP. Justice Wuni has dragged the MP before him, asking that he explains why he should not be punished for comments he made against the judiciary. The MP's lawyers contend Justice Wuni lacks the power to hear the matter since he was not the judge the MP made the comments against. Court correspondent Joseph Akablé just returned from court. He joins us in studio. Explain to us what led to this directive by the court, Joseph.
It was after the court noticed that Mr. Japon's lawyers had not notified the registrar of the court proceedings, even though the registrar has been able to file some documents, and so the court directed at the AG's office. Fortunately, a Deputy Attorney General was in court, and so he asked that the AG's office express an opinion on this particular case and come back tomorrow, and hopefully there will be judgment on this issue.
Let's stay a while longer in the Supreme Court, because a businessman, Alfred Agbeshiwoyome, argues before it that informing the court he had some land worth $15.5 million, which he wants the court to sell off to pay the debt that he's owed the state.
He actually represented himself in court today. He said he was trying to secure the services of a lawyer but couldn't before the proceedings, and he informed the court that he has land worth that amount which he wants to sell to pay the state. And the court said that, you've had all these years, you could have sold the land to pay the state, and so go ahead and sell it and pay the state if you want to do so. And so the court threw out his case, asking that it puts on hold a state decision to acquire some houses which it has now been handed over to the National Security Secretariat.
Thank you very much, Joseph Akablé. Off to the election headquarters. President Akufo-Addo has assured outstanding money due pensioners will be settled. Now, Presidential Affairs Correspondent Elton Brobe joins us on the line with more on this, because the President has also been speaking about the security situation in the country. Tell us more, Elton.
So, Emefa, according to President Akufo-Addo, he got a letter from the TUC alleging that among Tier 1 and 2 benefits paid to people who retired this year, those who received their benefits under the National Pension as 2008 got an average of 3 times lower than their counterparts who retired at the PNDC Law 247. President Akufo-Addo assured that his director's to work the difference and then pay the money back to retirees who will start their pension in January. But I also assured the nation that we will work to ensure the peace of the country is intact before and during and after the 2020 general election.
In these sensitive times, let me assure you of the wholehearted effort that are being made by my government and I to ensure the peace and stability of the nation as we enter the home stretch of the electioneering campaign. I'm calling on all political actors and the citizenry as a whole to commit themselves to a peaceful process and to forego any resort to violence. The Inspector General of Police and the other heads of the law enforcement agencies have made abundantly